Alright. Good morning. Good morning. YouTube? Hello? Twitch? Where's Twitch? Is YouTube? Okay. Is YouTube there? Hello, please. Uh-oh. Where's my vertical stream? Where's my horizontal one? There it is. Okay. There we are. There we are. Okay. What are we doing today? I believe... let me try to recap what has happened since I last streamed. What has happened? I have been working on actually a new line tracing method for my vertex and triangle buffers. I actually ended up storing them in a spatial data structure. I figured out how to do that. So when I'm line tracing against them, I no longer have to iterate through every single one of them. They're in a sort of BVH, bounding volume hierarchy, spatially located. So it's kind of like an octree or something of the like, where it can just check like the big boxes that it partitions everything into, and it could be like, hey, is it in this box? No, then we can skip all of those points. So I've done that, and the tracing performance like increased by like 100 times at the cost of some memory. So the memory seemed negligible, so I think it's a good thing to do. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. But now what we're doing, because like this was my solution for last problem I was working on, which was detecting which vertices are on these surfaces, and little bit more complicated than is it on the height map, because some of these ones down here are not on the height map, but they would technically still be on the surface, right? And so this is going to be important for respawning and somewhat for initial spawning. Yeah, we'll have to see what we do with that, but after the player like deforms the terrain and stuff like that, we do need to figure out, without the help of a height map, if things are on the surface. So that's the challenge there. And now I'm just doing that when I sample the vertices, when I sample the points. So here's that code. It's not working properly though, so that's what I'm figuring out this morning. You can see, actually, let me pop out my graph here. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So here's some points. Now, whoops. Now what I'm doing, let me check audio real quick. Audio. My graph here. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So here's some points. Now, whoops. Now what I'm doing, seems good. Seems fine. Music could maybe be a bit louder, maybe? Okay. So we're looking at the sampled points. Here's the chunk surface sampler. This is the node where this code is ran from. And it adds a tag here, or a, what do they call this? An attribute. Adds an attribute. Now, and then I'm filtering for true and false here. And then for some reason, doing a debug display on this just shows all of them for the most part, I thought. No, it doesn't. Okay, it was earlier. But you can see, like, this is for things that are supposedly on the surface, but it's just like, okay, what's going on here, right? And then this is for things off the surface, not, which is essentially just directly down in the Z direction, right? So what I'm looking for and why I'm using this chunk to test is that everything underneath this little land bridge shouldn't show up. So not quite working correctly. We need to figure out why. I think it does like a little bit, right? Like there's a little break here. But like if I were to just go straight here, like yeah, I just hit the dirt here, which is not what I want. And then also, like, we're just missing a ton of points here. Like, these all should be filled out. And the logic that I'm using here is... because it gets a little complicated. Because we don't have every chunk rendered. So you have to think about, like... for chunks that are, like, entirely below the height map, I just made the decision to skip those entirely. None of those are going to have surface vert points. That may bite me in the ass, because you could think of a situation where, you know, we have a really deep hole, like right here, right? The bottom isn't actually rendered now, but if it was, there would actually be some surface verts down there, right? But because those chunks are don't have any height map verts in them, I'm just saying, don't bother. It's far. I think it's far enough down that I think I'm going to consider that non-surface. So that's our first piece of logic there. And I'm doing that just to make it, one, simpler for myself, and two, like, it just gets complicated when... because, like, you'd essentially need to have every chunk in the Z-axis rendered first before you do this to determine the surface verts, because you never know if there's, like, an overhang above you or not, right? So I just did that, and I think that's fine. Like I said, I think it's far enough down that it would be fine. And it's mostly just going to be used for PCG, so... you know, if I spawn some undergroundy type assets down there, I think it would actually look okay, because they're far enough down. And then I just go all the way, I trace from the point XY and the height map height, that's the start. And I think I need to go like slightly above the height map. And I trace all the way down to the lower bound of the chunk, wherever the chunk's bounds end, because we don't need to trace any further. And I've realized that the spatial data structure, the performance gets worse the longer that the trace distance is. I have come to find. And I still need to handle cases where the line trace is across multiple chunks. This one technically could be. There could be a chunk who is not entirely below the height map, or in other words, it has some height map verts, but also the chunk above it has height map verts. And so this height would actually be outside of the upper bound, which I was testing as well, outside of the upper bound of that chunk. And I think that's important because, I mean, for the most part, the surface chunks should all be rendered ahead of time for the most part. So I'm hoping that that is consistent enough to actually do what I want. But yeah, what's happening here, let me run live coding here now that I've added a little bit of a tolerance to the height. Yeah, I'm thinking something is wrong with the maybe the height. Okay, I did see a couple more points show up, but not what I was expecting. And when I run over here, like, I'm doing the same line trace on my character, so the data and everything and the line trace I think are working fine. As you can see here, like, I'm still getting green data. here where I'm running. So I think just the height map. The height map value is off or something. And then let me actually check something. Wait, there should be like a little, okay, so yeah, the tube is actually, that's good. That's looking good. It does seem to cut off all of the points in the tunnel there. If we look at this one, that should have all the tunnel points are still here until they get to the end of the chunk. So yeah. It's I think logic wise it's working, but my values are just off here, and so I have this get interpolated height function. Which takes in local coordinates. I'm wondering if these are not the right kind of local coordinates though. Let me look where this is called from. So I'm using point on triangle, which I have looked at this in the debug view. Let's look at it again to remind ourselves. Point on triangle does seem to be in between what coordinates? Okay, it does seem to be negative 120 to 120 is what it seems to be, which is what I would expect. That is what I would expect. Now, where was I looking here? Vertex data generator. Now, clamped X. Now, it's doing size. Height map number, which is not going to be 240. Okay, so maybe I'm off by a bit here. But this is oh no, this is centering then. Okay, so I think I do need to do this on the point on triangle here. We're gonna do point on triangle, and then we need to, I'm just gonna paste this here, although I don't have those values. That's okay. I can get them from terrain gen params, I believe. Now, this is gonna be annoying because I think I need the LOD as well. I think it's get grid size, and then I'll need the LOD, which is like this, get LOD index, but then I need to pass it into get LOD as well. Alright, let me look at get grid size here. So num square verts per chunk divided by simplification increment plus 1. Which simplification increment should be 6, so it should be 240 divided by 6, that is 40, okay. So that is the local grid size, so I can plus local grid size divided by 2 there. Easy. Now, height map to vertex scale is actually just the simplification increment. Which would put this back down into... Yeah, okay. I need to do this. And let's just get our LOD. That way you don't have to have that huge, nasty, long signature there. LOD, we can replace all of this. Okay, that looks nice. Height map local point, let's pass that in now, and then I think because we only care about the Z here, do I need to subtract, or I need to center this again? Sorry for the sniffles. Allergies are a thing. Yeah, where was I looking here? So I just use the value after that. Return height. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to doctor up the return value of this height map. Yeah, this get interpolated height is not. Let me write another utils function to transform this back into world space. In which case I would need the terrain gen params. Then I would essentially just need to do the same thing that I just did here. So let's copy all that. Wait, no, that's too local. Okay, never mind. We need to do the opposite of that. Is what now? So that would be, if we want to get this back into world space, I do need to multiply by scale. That's a thing for sure, but it's still going to be in the 40 space. So I need to change it back into the 240 coordinate space. Dr. Elliott, what's up, man? How's it going? Welcome to the Sniffle stream. And so I would want to multiply by simplification increment as well. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go return height value times scale. That is correct, but we also want, yes, simplification increment, which means I have to fucking pass in the LOD as well. Okay. Create that declaration. That should be static. What we're working on here is I just put all my indices and vertices into a spatial data structure, into a sort of BVH structure, and I rewrote my tracing functions to use that, and the performance increased by like 100-fold for short traces. Now, the performance does decrease the longer the trace is, because I guess it has to check more bounding volumes. But it is still much better than what I was doing before, which was iterating through every single vertex, or rather every single triangle, checking for an intersection. And now what we're doing is we're going to use that in our chunk surface sampler node, which is this guy right here. And we're going to be adding this attribute here for is on surface. So now I can check if any of these points are on the surface. And so it's sort of working, but I was in the wrong coordinate space, so... Here this is kind of like our first shot at it. You can see we're missing a bunch of points like right here, right? Those are all supposed to show up. But we are correctly not returning any points in this tunnel because these are not on the surface, so that's good. If we look at the ones that are not on the surface, then all our tunnel ones come back. These ones do too, but that's wrong. So we're fixing that now. That's what we're working on. So I'm just writing a little convenience function here for translating my height map value into world space. I think I'll just wrap this in. Gonna be a nasty. Actually, let's not do that. Let's call this local height. World height. What are we passing into range and params? And then we need local height, and then we also need LOD, which we already have as well. Okay, cool. Hopefully this fixes the issue. A little bit of tolerance there as well. Okay, live coding. far right. And so why we want to get the surface points is so that we can spawn certain things, basically. You know, I don't want to spawn grass underground. That doesn't make sense, right? Oh, okay, that's looking a lot better. That's looking a lot better. It's still not what I'm wanting. Like, why isn't this little tuft here? Am I still off on my coordinates? What I do like, though, is that, like, there is a little bit of an overhang right here. And you can see it is capturing that some of those are not on the surface. Which seems correct if I just, like, you know, go straight over. And then what's going on? Oh, no, those three are just for my character. I'm just doing a trace for my character. And yeah, this is also cool just because I don't need collision anymore. Like, it can be done entirely on the background thread. I don't actually need to do a collision trace, but I can still just do geometry traces, essentially, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, I have the infinite, patent pending, infinite vertex color textures. But yeah, then we can see the parts underneath the this little land bridge here showing up. So I think for the most part it's working. We're just slightly off. These guys are not what I would expect. Let's throw a breakpoint there and just kind of take a peek at some of the values. So at our point, negative 120, 120. Should it be above 40? I think it should be under 41. The world height, let me look at world space point height, which is negative 2,000. And so it would be, this chunk would be between negative 6,000 and 6,000 for the z-axis. So world height is within that, so that seems right. At least somewhat. Okay, let me look at this again, just make sure we have this right. So we have a coordinate space where we're between 0 and 40. Then it should be scale times multiplication increment, which is 6. Yeah, that seems, because 40 times 6 is 240. Or am I crazy? 40 times 6. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that seems right. That feels right. Do I just need some more tolerance? Let me do like plus 10, just to see. Oh, I created a new function. So I should have rebuilt that. Okay. Run it again. And maybe it'll work just better now that I did live coding. Or not live coding, that I rebuilt. Yeah, see, this is showing all of them. This is exactly what was happening before. Yeah, it's still that one little section. Okay, let me generate some more. Yeah, that does seem to match up there. It's just like, this is like the highest point on... This part right here maybe seems like it's a bit high too. Yeah. Huh. Just like the high points. They are correctly not showing up underground. Great news. Good news, everyone. That part's working. Okay, so we're just kind of... We don't like the little tippy tops here. Let me generate one on like... this section here. Oh, I guess we have to, oh, that was a different biome. Okay, so let me copy these guys. Did I copy that correctly? There we go. Hello, please. Check. We have 4,000 there, 15,000 there. Oh my goodness. Okay. That should be, there we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't, the height is, yeah, it doesn't like the height. Okay, and it's, seems to be a standard height. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I would like to, I guess it would be nice to kind of like draw these start and end as like debug points or something, or like a line, debug line. That's a lot. That's a lot to draw. I mean, maybe if we just tone down the number of sampled points per square meter here, then that would be okay. Let's do like 0.1 here. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. 0.01. Yeah, that's gonna like blow up my computer if I try to debug render that. Oh, I didn't do the 0. Okay, come on. Lock in. That's not too many, right? I guess I just don't need that many, so let's throw it yet another 0 in there. Okay, that should be totally fine. Okay, so let's do some debug drawing. Pop these out into variables. Okay. Draw debug We'll do line. I think line makes sense here. Start and what's the next param here? Oh, I need whoops. Source component get work. What is this? Color? Persistent? We can do like maybe 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, save that. Let's do the same. No, we only want one. Red is fine. Okay, we'll just run it. Oh my god. That is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. These ones... Interesting. It's like the height map is off by like a factor of something. What if I just multiplied by scale here? Not that this... I mean, this shouldn't matter, though, still, because it's still hitting... Maybe it's hitting something else on the way? Wait for those to go away real quick. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's more what I was expecting. Okay. Yeah, we were off. We were off. Huh. Okay. So, still though, it actually shouldn't have been an issue. Because what am I showing? I am showing the ones technically not on the surface. Even though those clearly are. Now here's an interesting... That one is very low. Yeah, these ones on the slants are very low. Oh god. And then that is... Well, that should be not on the surface, right? Yeah. Right, okay, yeah, we're showing ones that are not on the surface. When they technically should be. Let's actually... we make those a bit smaller. Oh my god, are you serious? No thank you, please. Because that was paused or something. I was wondering if these ones like didn't start. Yeah, they didn't seem to start high enough. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, some of our height traces are not going all the way through. Yeah, this one is like right below the height map. Yeah, okay, so our height map is slightly off. I'm wondering if this is from the interpolated heights. It has to be, right? Because due to the nature of how I'm sampling these points, like you can see, they're not on the height map verts exactly, so I have to do a bilinear interpolation to get the value. And that seemed to work fine in my vertex data generator. But now I'm wondering if it's not completely fine. map to vertex scale is just the simplification increment. Let me look. Maybe I should local grid size. Now this should be plus one, right? So let's do -1 because that's what we're doing elsewhere. We're gonna run play there. Get rid of all the debug points. Thank you. Okay, how does that look? How does that look? I'm seeing no more points. Did that work? I think that worked. Oh, Jesus. Okay, apparently I can't make changes to the PCG graphs when it's paused. Okay, never mind. Even when it's not paused. Even when it's not paused. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I guess it's because I'm doing the debug traces, right? Okay, now I'm getting nothing. Hang on. Let's turn off that debug drum thing. We can do this without the editor getting mad at us. Okay. Take this back up to, I think it was 0.5 is what we originally did it at. Okay, okay, so now we have all of our points there. Yeah, and then that is correctly not shown. I think a little bit of this might be in that chunk as well. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, we fixed it. I think we fixed it. And then how many do we have here? 1,300 points there, 17,000 points there. So let's draw those. What do those look like? Yeah, all those are the, ooh. Ooh. Okay, so we're still missing some. Okay. Good to know, good to know. I guess, yeah, it's on the very slanty parts. On the high slope parts. I'm wondering why that would be. I guess it's still from the interpolation that I'm. Okay, so these are technically like not on the surface, meaning it hits something else on the way down. God, and I would need to like have a bunch of these sampled so I can actually see what the traces are doing. Do I just need more a little bit more tolerance? I'm doing +10 right now. Let me go back and look at this example. Let's change U back to 0.5. Okay, so you are getting that spot that wasn't showing up before. That's good. We have a break right here for this little land bridge. Even better. Now let me debug this one. Dead. That is an interesting point. that's fine. Even though I feel like those do look like they're on the surface, but I think that's I'm not going to be too picky here. Yeah, I think maybe it just looks like it's not because of the size. Let's turn the size down a little bit. Yeah, that looks a little less awkward now. Okay. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, so I guess it's just on the really slanty parts that the interpolation is off. Just check a regular mountain here. Those points are tiny. Oh no, those are the mushrooms. I thought those were the points. Okay, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so why is it just this biome that has weird points here? Hi, can you render my debug points for me, please? Oh, yeah, you should have some. I guess I needed to, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, this has some too. Those aren't supposed to be there. Yeah, so what we're working on here is like, for my procedural terrain, I store just like the vertex and the triangle data. And I don't use collision traces. And the reason is because there's actually, like you see this navigation data here, like I'm exporting this custom, or this, it's called an export custom nav data. I'm exporting that to the nav mesh, and it can use that to build a nav mesh even though I don't have collision, and I don't even actually have a mesh at all. So, and that's what my entity component system is going to use to move around. Now that also means I don't have collision traces, so I had to write my own. So I stored my vertices and indices in a spatial data structure to allow for efficient traces, so that I don't have to iterate over every triangle to figure out if there's an intersection between a line and each triangle. So I just switched over to doing the spatial data structures. Performance is like 100-fold better. You know, for a short trace, it's like 10 microseconds. Longer trace is like, 100, 200 microseconds maybe. The length of the trace does matter. But we're trying to incorporate that with PCG. So I have my own chunk surface sampler node here. And I wrote this because, like I said, I don't have collision. And that's how you kind of sample points in PCG, is using collision traces. So I kind of had to write my own way of doing that. And I have some code that is not only detecting like the material type, it's kind of like my own physical material system that I wrote, which is what the colors are representing, right? So it's going to be brown on the dirt and green on the grass. So I also have access to that data. But alongside that, you can see that I have this is on surface attribute right here. And this is what I'm using that line trace for, the spatial data structure trace. So basically just going straight down and trying to figure out which points are on the surface. And I'm doing this because I need to know like what's underground and what's not for certain PCG things that I want to spawn, right? Like I wouldn't want to spawn grass underground. And like right now, the grass texture is only on the surface, like the green vertex data is only on the surface, so I could just use that. But that's not always going to be the case. And I will want to spawn different assets, down in a cave. That's not just like on dirt, right? Like I could still have some grass growing on the dirt, right? Like that's totally reasonable. But like on this dirt down here, I want to do things like spawning some stalactites on the rock and maybe some, glowing mushrooms or something for when it gets dark and stuff, So that's why I need to know if a point is on the surface or not. And originally what I was just doing was just checking the height map, because I do store my height map information, but I am also combining that height map with the 3D noise that we're looking at under here. And so sections like this, where this is like the entrance to an underground cave, like this would be marked as like non-height map, right? And so if I wanted to do some PCG logic for like, you know, spawn some stalactites and mushrooms, it wouldn't make sense to spawn, it would spawn them right here, which to me doesn't make sense, right? Because I only want to spawn them, you know, where it's in the cave. And so what we're working on now, let's generate this. And I guess we got to go in here. Let's do. So these are all the ones that are on the surface. And so you can see where that vertex data is showing. You can see we are getting this as surface data. Nice. And then under here, we don't get any. You're like, oh, cool. This is working perfectly. A little bit right here too for this. Great. Great. Then I'm going to switch over to this guy. And you see, like, there's like just kind of some random ones that are, this is for ones that are not on the surface. But all of these ones should be. They should all be marked on the surface, so we're still a little bit off. But it is correctly like, all of these are fine, right? Because we didn't see any under here before. But all these are slightly off, so that's what we're trying to check here. And it seems like that's only the case in that biome, right? Let me check this one. Right, because I'm not seeing any. Oh, I guess it is. It's on the mountains as well. Right, because I was talking about the slope might have something to do with it. Although the slope is not very high for these ones. I guess I just find it odd that, like, this one is, like, relatively flat. There's not very high slopes or anything. And it still has some showing up. But then, like, this one, none of these ones out here did. Let's check this. Let's check this guy. I guess I'm just trying to look for a pattern or something. Yeah, so all those aren't supposed to be there. Yeah, and I bet let's just like turn this up. This is my like, I'm starting 100 above the height map. It was 10, so I'm just gonna increase that and see if that fixes the issue. I feel like it shouldn't. Like, I don't feel like that. I feel like 10 is more than enough to fix this issue. Although that definitely did seem to fix the issue. Those ones, yeah, those ones are probably correct. Yeah, maybe I just did need to start a little bit higher. But I guess that's it's a bit concerning because either my coordinates are off a little bit, translating between coordinate spaces, or my line trace function is off a little bit. But it definitely doesn't seem to be the case for my character trace, right? And when I jump, it like correctly goes away. And so yeah, I've worked the footstep sounds are based off of the vertex data. But I think that's pretty cool. It should actually be based off of where each foot is, not where like the character race hit is. So it does need to match up a little bit better with the material, but good enough for now, I think. More than good enough. I mean, that's good enough for now, I think. And maybe I'll just chalk this up to like some chalk this up to like some interpolated height inaccuracy. Tysenberg, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so I think we're good here. I think we're good. Yeah, so this height map utils function is kind of pointless now. we're just gonna get rid of this now. Okay, back to surface sampler. Yeah, then we just take local height. Local height times range chunk range in params dot scale. Okay, so I think we're good there. Maybe this tolerance could be a little higher too. Although, why would me increasing the start point height have fixed the issue if the intersection point and the generated point tolerance was the reason? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So yeah, I think that tolerance is probably fine. Okay, so I think we have that data now. That's perfect. Well, it's good. It's good. Is good. Okay. Anything? Yeah, we can get rid of this logic here. This is the mesh generator, and I just need to get rid of like, yeah, that information. What is it? Chunk size, chunk world location. Because now the terrain chunk has this logic. Do you store a separate grid for ground level? I save the height map information, if that's what you're talking about. Does that answer your question? The height map information is saved because every chunk in the z-axis uses that. It may be the cheapest and easiest way to work with it. Not sure what you mean. Not sure what we're talking about here. But we've successfully gotten our surface data working here. Yeah, we'll kind of suck to get like some of these points when I like want to, you know, isolate the underground. I can probably do something where it's like if they're far enough away from the height map, you know. That'll probably be an easy way to work around that. Or maybe that's what this attribute will turn into. rather than a boolean like a float for how far away it is from the height map. And if it's 0, then it's on the surface, you know. And I technically, that information is existing already. I don't need it yet, though, so Yagni. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, I think we're ready to commit. Yeah, okay. We're going to say PCG calculate PCG is on surface attribute. Yeah, we're good there. Now what? Now what? Let's make sure these are saved. Don't necessarily need those anymore. That was just for debugging purposes. Poipasi, I believe is the proper way to say that. Okay, yeah, we can start potentially working on some underground PCG stuff. Now, I guess I need to think about how I'm going to organize this in the graph. And what assets I have, which probably are not many. Let's go to all. Where's the filter? Let's look for static mesh. Nice, okay. Rocks. What kind of rocks do I got here? I got some big ass cliffs. This one could be like a cool little. Let me open this guy. You have a texture? Your texture is world grid material. That doesn't seem right. Oh, these are for FX. Interesting. Okay. So they're probably textured by the effect itself, the FX. What if I put something else on there? Let me just grab, what do I want to grab here? Grab whatever texture this is. Rock small. Not the worst looking. It could be worse. Could be worse. Yeah, we definitely want to like just spawn some like little rocks and shit like that, you know? Little doodads. But I also want, I was hoping for like a stalactite. We have just a bunch of crystals. What popped up? Okay. Some pillars. Oh, that's big. Okay. That's kind of stalactite-y, right? Does PCG automatically instance this stuff? Yes. But I'm doing my own instancing now, too, as well. So. This one could be cool to spawn on the ceilings, it looks like. How big is it? We could shrink it down quite a bit. Yeah, this might be a good one. Oh, it's got, like, grass on it, though. I guess it could be mold. Yeah, it's moss. It says moss up here. Would be a good one to hang from the ceiling. That looks like a nice ceiling rock. Just rotate it upside down. A rock group. We love that. We love rock groups. textures don't quite match, but it's fine. Here's one with, I think, the same. Ew, God, that's a horrible looking texture. Never mind. Never mind. I guess these are like, what is this? It's like super. Okay, don't know what's going on with that texture. It's like way too, I don't want to say stylized, I guess. Well, those don't even have a bottom on them. These are all the rocks I have. Okay. I probably have more that I just haven't put in the project yet. There's one where I have like, so, oh yeah, deep elder caves. Here we go. Okay, just give me all the assets in here. Oh yeah, we just got some like little rock figures and stuff. Would it not make more sense to work on water before you populate? What do you mean, work on water? Like water in the world? I don't think so. That's like a whole ass thing. Here's all my mushrooms though. These will be good. Yeah, water is like, that's like, that's a lot. That is not like a trivial thing. I'm not gonna do water for quite some time, I don't think. My world is gonna be without water for a while. If that's what you're talking about. I guess these are just walls. And then maybe I can put some skeletons in there too. That'd be kind of funny. Now it would be really nice to put some of these in spaces that they can actually connect to the top and bottom. But that would require some. I would need to trace to get the distance, and then like probably set the scale of that equal to like the distance of where the height is. Yeah, so it just feels like it's going to be the thing that causes you to rewrite basically everything. So the more you stack on top of what you have now, it just compounds the refactor. I don't think I see that the same way. I definitely think it will require me to refactor things, but I don't think that's going to cause me to refactor my PCG spawning by any means. And I don't think the more that I do outside of water, I don't think it compounds the problem. I think water only really affects the terrain system, not necessarily what's spawned on top of the terrain. You know, I was hoping for a little more out of this pack. The mushrooms are good, though. The mushrooms are good. I guess there's like some roots that like probably. I don't know how I would get these to show up well. I was more thinking that you'd have underground lakes and waterfalls and stuff. Yeah, potentially. I mean, that would be the dream. But I can just that doesn't, like, all I would need to do is isolate those sections, and the PCG graph just would take care of that. I wouldn't need to change any of the spawning for outside of that. Similar to how like I don't have to change any of this surface spawning when I'm adding the underground stuff. Oh, I have that asset pack? Yeah, I think this was a free for the month one at some point, right? How you doing, Odd? Yumio, welcome. And Max just add more filters to avoid sampling in the water. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You would just isolate that with filters and it would be fine. Is that dressing the caves? Yeah, just trying to come up with some assets I can spawn there, because I've gotten, we just figured out the surface sampling. So if I go here on PCG, and so this will be all of the surface points. But if I go under here, oh, that's kind of a bad example. Do this one. See, here's all the surface points, and then when I start going down into the hole, now there's none. And then I can look at these ones. And those are the ones that are in the caves. And I have the normals of the points filtered as well, so it's not sampling any of the points on the ceiling, but easy change. But yeah, it's cool because like I changed my line tracing system to be more performant, because like I used to just like iterate through every single triangle and check for a line trace, but then I stored them in a spatial data structure. So now I can efficiently line trace through them, which is what allowed me. I'm now, like, for every single point that's returned by my chunk surface sampler node here, it is checking, it's doing a line trace to see if there's anything above it, to figure out if it's a surface point or not. So we just figured that out. And now we're going to spawn some stuff here. So sick, thank you. Yeah, happy to get that done. We're using bounding volume hierarchies. Yeah. AABB as well. Trivial amount of extra data stored though in memory, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And I can also create them on the fly. Like, it doesn't take too long to create them, right? And so mainly what I need this for is like for the first PCG pass, and then eventually when I do respawning, I'll need that as well. Make sure I don't respawn things that are now underground or something, you know. Because the player is going to be able to deform the terrain, and so I won't know based off of the height map or anything if something's underground or on the surface or not. So we'll need it then as well. Dr. Elliot has chicken soup. Did you bring enough for the class? If you brought some, you have to share. That's the rule. Them's the rules. Okay, so what we're gonna do... Do I have... Okay, I do have the rotation information on it, so I can also call the upside down ones as well. That's foliage. I want to copy one of these. Trees. Where's my stuff around trees? Is this stuff around trees? This is stuff around trees. Oh, and then there's my mushrooms. Okay. I'm gonna copy stuff around trees. Slap that down. Let's pause region as well, so we don't like break the world. Hi, Bronze. Hello, welcome. Okay, so let's we're gonna do this. We're gonna not filter the normals, or rather filter by normals. We can get rid of that now. Collision is no longer my friend. Okay, and then let's do a attribute filter, and I'm going to need to use the constant threshold. We're gonna want to do rotation. Quaternion. Ew, gross. Rotator. Rotator. Okay. And so, can I have some data back actually? Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see now I have my ceiling points. I do have some grass points, so I'll want to cull those as well. I don't want those points. What are you mad at? Not compare target type quaternion. Ew, gross. Oh no. Okay. I suppose it may be the same thing though. Anyways, just grab me an attribute noise here. So I want to, I think I want 3 categories of normals points here. I think I want some for, let me get out paint here to explain what I'm talking about. So I think I want, so given a tube, here's a tube. Right? There's points going this way, there's points going this way, and there's points going that way. Right? I think I would want kind of like, I want like all these points in a group. I want all these points in a group, and then these ones on these sides I would want in a single group as well. The 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. 2A. 2B. Okay. I think that's how I would want to segment them. Because I don't want to, you know, if I have like stalactites and shit, you know. There's my stalactite. But I guess like for these, like I could also spawn some on the bottom. Stalagmites. Then maybe I want some like, you know, like moss or something on the sides. It wouldn't make sense to spawn a stalactite like that. That would be kind of weird. Although that could be a very, like, dude, like a tunnel like that could actually be kind of sick. It could actually be kind of sick. But I definitely wouldn't want, like, you know, rubble and stuff. You know, put a bunch of chaff down here. I'm gonna debug this. This is out. Go inside filter. So ain't nothing in there. If you're changing gravity in the tunnel, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, different game, I think, maybe, though. And so we're doing greater than 0 on everything. Okay, so first of all, let's we're gonna go is on surface first. Is on surface false. There we go. And then let's also get rid of, we need to do another attribute filter for we want attributes you can regen, that's fine. Terrain material type. Terrain material type, string, string. I can just do substring. Grass, maybe. EMT grass. We want outside that, so anything that's not grass as well. Okay, that got rid of everything. Wonderful. There we go. Okay, so we got rid of those grass points as well. And I may put this into a subgraph so I can use it in my meadow biome as well. something that's kind of interesting to think about is like if I want different underground biomes, which would be actually pretty complicated, because then I would have to like handle like going straight from one to the other. But I guess I need to handle that for my regular biomes as well. Like what happens when you're walking along a cave and it goes into another a cave biome, you know? You definitely want to do some blending, and that's what I set up all my splines for, actually, which I still need to do, because right now it's just chunk based, and so that's why I get these trees right here, because that's where the chunk ends. And so this is like a meadows chunk, this is a forest chunk, but I do have splines for these mountains that encapsulate the entire zone. And so I can actually do a spline volume sampler. That's an actual node in PCG. So I can actually use that to make sure that it stays within the spline rather than the chunk. And then I would just need to make sure that each chunk, you know, if it has a neighbor, if a chunk has a neighbor chunk that's a different biome, then I need to run both graphs. And those graphs can do like a distance-based blend from the edge of the sampled spline. So that's how I'm going to handle that. I guess I could probably do the same thing for axis aligned hierarchical marched bounding box wave collapsed chunking. Yeah, dude, you sound like you're great at procedural generation already, Odd. You're saying all the right things. Don't stop, I'm almost there. You're hired. Get in here. He's hired, but not for what you think. Anyways. Rotation. Alright, Odd, get in this hole with me. What should I change these to? So I guess, like, it doesn't like it if I do quaternion or rotation. Let me just do like 90 here. Like which one? I don't know which one is which. Not compare target type quaternion. I know you can do like rotation, like a dot thing. But I would need to do pitch and roll, right? Oh god, and it just absolutely fucky-wucked everything up there. Yeah, I guess for quaternion there is no like greater than. That doesn't really make sense. Yeah, I may need like a better. I may need a better kind of filter for that. I'm not sure if this is going to cut it. Okay, so that did actually filter some out there. Can I do a dot product? I can. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, we can put that in density. Rotation. And it needs to be like a dot product of a vector that is like pointing a certain direction. So I have this math in my surface sampler. How would I like just make a... I just want to make a vector. Why do I only have an X? Oh, okay, I can change it to vector 3. Okay. Can I just like... I just want to hard code it. How do I do that? Input source. Why do I have 4 input sources? I guess that's for the vector. So maybe these are the hard code values here. So we want to do 0, 0, 1 perhaps. Let me check this out. Okay, that got rid of all of them. We want to do a dot wait, how did that get rid of all of them? I did a dot product and put it into. I didn't call anything. Wait, yeah, why is that working like that? Where are you? You have points. What's your deal? Oh, there's a lot of operations here. Yeah, we want the dot product. We're going to take in rotation from A, and B is just like itself, I suppose. A. Watching me try to figure this out live. Why is there no data? Hmm? I guess a rotation isn't a vector, right? Is that why it's complaining? Yeah, I guess maybe I should make vector attributes on that one too. I have no idea if I'm doing this right. Input source 1. God, I need to do like math here too. Oh, these are the kinds of things that are kind of difficult in the PCG graph. Like you have to do so much extra, whereas like if I was in C++, this would just be like trivial. Like, I guess I could just quickly write my own blueprint node to do it. Func surface sampler, let me see. Yeah, here's the, look how easy this is. These lines, that's all it takes. I need this, but in PCG, and I don't want to create like a whole node for it. I have normalized. What is normal to density? What do you do? Okay. Oh, it does up dot normal plus offset. Okay, so maybe this is the node I can use actually. Get unit access. Access is up. What is get unit access? What do you do? Okay, it's just returning 0, 0, 1. Transform vector, no scale. But then is this actually... Okay, it does take it into the... Okay, it does rotate it. Okay. I think that's what I want. Let's see here, actually. Feels right. Normal. I guess, like, bug? I don't know. Like, we're putting it into density. Let me actually go in here and let's actually, we're going to show the black-white values. Oh, yeah, that's what we want. Look at that. That's exactly what we want. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I found what I needed. Yeah, that's a lot nicer than what I was going to do. That's a lot nicer than what I was going to do. Okay, so then we can just, density filter. And isolate these. So let's just start with our, like, we're just gonna do like not I guess we'll need to do multiple filters here. Pause regen for a second. Let me figure this out. So we got 0 is upside down, 1 is going straight up. So I would guess that like 0.25 to 0.75 is what I don't want. I'm going to go 0.75 there, and then I'm going to go 0 to 0.25. And then let's gather round, children. Gather round. I believe this gathers multiple data into a single collection, right? So we're doing multiple things, but yeah, okay. Right, okay, so we've gotten rid of the walls. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay. I think I want to take that up a bit more. Yeah, I want to be a little bit more aggressive with that. Let me actually pull this out here. Okay, so this is what do we got here? Take this up to like 0.8. Oh, we're on pause. Oh, that's not. This is not doing what I want it to do. God, the juxtaposition of my terrain. Let me make these a bit smaller. Yeah, I guess those are like pointing down. Those normals are fucked up, aren't they? As even my texture is stretched. If I did this one and we basically went, like, give me only... I feel like this isn't exactly what I want. One, one, one. Maybe that's what I want? No, because I still don't want these guys. I mean, yeah, this does look like the closest to what I want, but then there's still these ones that, like, pretty much pointing directly sideways. What other normal functions did I have? Just normalize. Okay. Density mode set. multiply. Yeah, no, just set. This like feels right, but then it's like, yeah, these are still like completely sideways, and I don't want that. I feel like the white is working rather fun. Let's do 0.9. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. 0.8. Yeah, that seems good. This one is like 0 to 0.01. Why are you not updating, sir? Okay, so these are just all 0. What if I inverted the filter? Does that help at all? That seems to... Okay, yeah, that's just more confusing. I can't even think about, like... Yeah, so I mean, these are basically just all the 0 points, okay. Yeah, I think I am going to want that distance from height map attribute. Because then I could also do things that would be kind of cool, like, you know, the deeper down you go, like the cooler shit spawns. But yeah, why is it seems like the density is not... The normal densities are not great for the ceiling. At 0.5, what would happen? Nothing. 0. Okay, yeah, they're all 0. 2, 1. And what is strength? Yeah, these ones just like straight up don't get affected by it, which is annoying. And I don't think it matters the magnitude of this. That one, I see, like, I feel like that one kind of got better on one side, but not the other. What is offset? Oh, this is doing kind of what I'm... Yes. Okay. Offset is what I want. Offset is what I want. Okay. Let me look at these guys now. I guess I filtered out all of them now. Aha! Aha! So I think we can actually pick that up a little bit. Yeah, there we go! This is nice. This is looking nice now. And I know we're just looking at blocks, but these are nice blocks. They're very nice blocks. Okay, but now I think I need to be a little bit more aggressive on my bottom culling. I said more aggressive and then I didn't. I went the opposite. Okay, but now we're like Yeah, but now these are just all white now. Okay, so it's almost like I need to do two different normal to densities. Okay, I think. One for, what is this? Lower bound, one for upper bound. The lower bound should probably be, which one is this? This is, yeah, this is lower. So this one offset 0. We liked that, we like that. Okay, but now, yeah, now we're being way too aggressive with, okay. That's probably a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit. Yeah, and then can I do a negative op? sorry. Ignore that. I can do a negative offset, okay. Yeah, I think negative 0.1 offset is actually okay. And then these points maybe do like 0.8. Something like that. I think I want a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. That's probably pretty nice. Okay. So show me all the points now. Top and bottom. Yeah, there we go. So there's top and bottom. Okay, so let me grab this guy. Now let's spawn some things. What are we spawning? Yeah, we're gonna do no respawns. These are rocks, they don't respawn. I forgot I have to like put them all in the data tables for this. We're just gonna start with the static mesh spawners then. Just for testing. And then when we find what we want, we'll pop it off into the data table. Okay, let me grab, I want, where's that stalactite looking one? That one's not bad. Look at that too. Rid of the paint now. Okay, pop that guy in there. Oh Jesus, I forgot. Ugh. Oh god, I forgot how annoying this is too. Okay, so that one's not bad, but let's pillar. I guess that's kind of what we're. Yeah, okay, we'll grab that one. Put that in there. Okay. And then we're gonna need to attribute noise. We're gonna need to attribute noise the shit out of this because attribute noise and then another density filter because we don't want all these points. This is way too many points. Output target, let's make sure that's density. Input source, also density. They should both be density. Set 0 to 1, and so when we look at that, yeah, so now it should just be random. Random-ish. When we go 0, yeah, there we go. So 0 to 1, there's all our random noise. We go 0.5. Go like 0.9 probably, because we only want a few. 0.99 even. Sure. I could also do a distance filter on this to make sure they're not too close. Go ahead and spawn though. Oh my god, that one is so big. I didn't realize how big that was gonna be. Okay, hang on, hang on. It's okay, okay. Is there a scale on here that I can set? No, no, there's not. Right, so these are all gonna have that's annoying. Okay, delete that one then. My partner keeps getting candles that smell like plastic and bleach. They're going for that microplastic scent, huh? These little guys are good. That's good. Now, I could also, like, these rocks maybe shouldn't spawn on the dirt, right? So I can even do that kind of a filter as well. Another attribute filter, constant threshold. We're going to go substring. We're going to go grain material type. Should I get another cup of coffee? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? String value, TMT. We'll select for stone. The coffee emote. I'll take that as a yes. 10 likes and I'll go get another one. Or whatever. Or whatever people say these days. What is this saying? Terrain, did I spell it wrong? There we go. Okay, so now the ones on the dirt are gone. It'd be nice if I could find a texture that was more similar to the one I have here. I suppose I could really quickly, right? Let me go into my materials here. Where is this? Can I like find usages? Reference view. Okay. I think this one is probably the it is used in, I mean, maybe in forest grade. No, that's mine. That's not right. Let me find you. Okay, those are only my own materials. What happens if I just slap that on here? Not the worst. Okay, now you just like can't even see them. Maybe it's good that they were slightly different. Upvote. Yeah, we'll definitely need to work on the textures and stuff. Let me maybe grab. Did I do the same one? Let me grab this one and try that one. Okay. Gib this. Put here. Oh, kind of mossy. Not bad. Gives it a little bit more character, right? still just albedo shift the stalactites. Now, if only I knew what that meant. Then we'd be in business. Okay. In the material. Yeah, see, still confused. Okay, that can go away. Go back to here. Now, let's do this is ground, right? No, this is not ground. This is ceiling. This is ground. I don't like that the ground is not on the bottom. There we go. Now that makes sense. The ground, give me another static mesh spawner. No, we need more, actually. Oh god, there's gonna be so many. Hang on. Yeah, what do I want to do here? Because I want to spawn a bunch of, like, just random shit on the fucking ground. Like this, basically. Yeah, all of these. What would be great? Let me put this over here. What would be great? Can I do this? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna change this a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do put the noise on it. Because we're doing the density field. Yeah, we want noise on each of these kind of on their own. That density filter can stay there. We want a noise on each of those so we can use them post haste. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I can just do density filters on them. That. Well, no, because I want different noise, don't I? And static mesh spawner selector weighted. Yeah, it would be super great if I could just throw in a bunch of static meshes in. Can I do that? I'm gonna guess no. Please take my 10 static meshes. I don't want to create 10 entries for this. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to fucking do it live here. Okay. Oh boy. Copy. Paste. No. Copy. Paste. No, still doesn't matter. Okay. This is gonna be such a pain. We're just gonna be super scrappy. See. Okay, have we spawned? Oh god, they're so small. Yeah, we should apply some random rotation stuff to them as well. should transform points after the density filter. Transform points. Random rotation. What axes? I think I want to do it in the whatever this one is. 0 to 360 probably. Uh-oh. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Are you all rotated differently now? Yeah. Yeah, you're all randomly rotated now. Perfect. Shift, RMB, and LMB for copy paste. You use that one? Oh, okay. Let me. That's how you can like put stuff into details panels and stuff. Oh, I think I see what you mean. But like, I don't know. These ones kind of suck. I don't know. It's not working with this one, but I think yeah. That is a nice. I thought I had to. Oh, I see it now. Well, that would have been nice if I could have readed that. Yep. Yep. Okay, you need to be slightly shorter. E. F. We're just gonna put all of these in here. G. I should probably do random scale as well. Scale min, are these, yeah, lock that to uniform. Let's do like 0.5 to 2. That way they're all a little slightly different scaled as well. Okay, we've almost got all the letters in here. And don't even get me started on like how I would have to change each of these descriptors. I should have probably just put these into the data tables, but it's also a pain because I don't have it set up for like same settings, just different mesh. Okay, so we've got some stuff. Let's pull that out. Okay, now we got our stuff spawning. Transform points, density filter. Take that down a bit. I think they all have collision on them too, which is probably not ideal. Yeah, I mean, good enough for now, right? Ship it and charge 80? Yeah, hell yeah, we're ready, boys. Who needs a Steam capsule? Not me. Not this fucking guy. I should probably transform points on this one, too. Random rotation. We'll just keep the same. Hello? That just got rid of all of them. Here we go. And then these ones should probably cull each other, but I don't know that I necessarily care about that right now. Okay, so now let's create one for like I am going to want to density filter, let me think. Okay, so we do have a lower and upper bound, so I can just select a different range here. Gather, attribute filter. We're just on stone. Those ones only pop out of stone. Density filter. So we're gonna effectively make this, pop it out here. Except our density filter is now just gonna let's just do 0 and 0.1. We'll just do the other end so that, oh god. Why is that not what I was expecting? That's more better. Disable these for a second so I can just see the points. Okay. Yeah, I want less than that. 0.01. Sure. Why not? Yeah. And then for scale, we want like 0.1 to like 0.2 maybe. Because these guys are going to be pretty big here. We're going to do that big, where is it? Rock 10. Ah, yes, everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite. What's your favorite rock? Oh, rock 10. Okay, so the rotation now needs to change. Yeah. Actually, I think I want it, I think we just want like 180 on both of these, maybe? Or 90, maybe. Okay, let's not do the random rotation. Would it not be 180? And then 180 here. That's just back to where I was. Is it 90? Oh, rotational math. I want them upside down. Okay, back to 0, 0. Okay. Yeah, I want them to be just flipped upside down. That's changing coordinate spaces. Not exactly what I want. What is 180 here? Okay, yeah, that's not the axis I want. Absolute rotation. No, that's not what I want. I don't want an absolute rotation. It's gotta be like, is that right? Oh, that's right. I just need to offset them now. Okay. Probably in the Z axis. Although they need to be offset in different directions. Oh no, that's perfect actually. If I don't do absolute. Stick those boys through the hole. And maybe the scale is a bit too small now. So let's do 0.5. That's a bit too big. You know, 0.5 is average. You know, it's actually slightly above average for a lot of people, so a lot of people are happy with 0.5. Okay. Maybe I kind of think I want them to actually be a little skinnier. That's why. So I only want them. I want them longer in the Z. I don't want girth here, is I guess what I'm saying. And some people like it. I don't. It's just not what I'm going for here. I want depth. And I suppose let's do the random rotation now. There we go. And I can make these stick out randomly too. Let's do 300 maybe. 200 to 300. I'm kind of thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to be spawning ore with PCG, you know? I don't know if I should be spawning ore like this, like I'm doing with these things, or if I should be spawning ore as a part of the terrain generation. I kind of feel like part of the terrain generation might be better so that I don't have like dynamic mesh components all over the goddamn place. Z, can we go Z? Take Z up to 1. Why does it seem like it's not scaling it at all? Yeah, it seems like the scale is staying uniform. Oh, I did uniform scale. Stop that. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, that's really long. Needs more girth. Not bad. Right? There's our cave. There it is. I think maybe this can actually go to 400. $500 even? Fuck it, 1,000. Okay, no, 1,000 too much. 1,000 is too much. Okay, yeah, 500. 500 is gonna have to be the cap there. Now for the dirt, now here's what we can do. Oh, I just had a great idea. Oh, here's what we're gonna do, guys. I had tree branches somewhere, right? Where was that cave pack thingo? So we're gonna have the little roots show through where the dirt is. Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Back to my graph here. So we're gonna go give me ceiling. Now let's put this all like down here. This is going to be stalags. It's gonna be like crystal things. I'll say spiky rocks. And this is like rubble. Okay. Now for ceiling, basically copy that. Copy that. Density filter. Now let me grab a different, and actually, give me this. Give me that, but we're going to filter for doi. Pop that in there, so all just for dirt, just for ceiling dirt. Roots. Okay. Y'all with me so far? Just for ceiling dirt. Okay, now I do want different density filter settings, I think, for this. Which one did I grab? I just grabbed it for rubble. Right, but this is just like on the ceiling, so yeah, maybe we can keep the same. Let's keep the same there. Random rotation, sure. Random scale, sure. Now, all of these... Let me think here. I'm going to pull this off to this side. Okay, yeah, see, now there's just there's a bunch of rocks on the ceiling now. It's not what we want. Not what we want. Now, can that stay open? Can I keep that open? No, I can't. Okay. Back here then. And this is what's so cool about having the vertex data, is that I can do stuff like this. Because, you know, it wouldn't make sense for roots to show through solid stone. Maybe this is a way for you to grab, you know, maybe you can like hit these with an axe real quick or something, get a little tiny amount of wood while you're down. You know, if you need to make like an impromptu torch or something, your torch ran out. Grab a little bit more wood here. And it's things like that that I want to do, where it's like, not only are these just like random assets that are being spawned, but they also have like at least a little bit of gameplay meaning to them, which is I think where a lot of games kind of fall short. It's like they like, you know, I was watching the new Doom, right? Which looks absolutely fucking incredible. But it's just like, you're just like running through these awesome looking fucking rooms and that don't actually mean anything. Like, they're just rooms. None of the decorations or the vibes or it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so okay, lots of roots. So let's make those go upside down. We need a I guess what did I do for this one? Just 180 on this one. Okay. There we go. Crazy. There's actually too many roots, I think, but wait, why didn't that work? Uniform scale. Yeah, that's fine. Do I need 180 on? I hate rotation, if you guys didn't know. Wait a second. Wait a second. Was I just lagging? Regen. Force regen everything. Look at this dank cave. Okay, and 180 here. I thought this was, thought that was the deal. Why did that work for the stalactites? Why did that work for the stalactites but not here? You know? Oh. Wait, why does that make a difference? Hang on. Oh, now it's working. Okay, I guess maybe it just wasn't although that looks kind of weird. That does look actually kind of weird now that I'm looking at it. They should go straight down, right? I feel like they should go straight down. Yeah, always straight down, yeah. I feel that. Okay. So we actually want absolute rotation then. Okay, hang on. Change it all to 0. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's all straight down now. And then, is this the one where I randomly rotated in, Yeah, okay, so now those are all rotated around the right axes. Okay. That's good. You like that? It's coming together. Like, these are all like hodgepodge assets, but yeah, it does make a difference, right? Now just imagine if I actually, you know, hired someone to make assets for me. Sponsored by PCG, yeah. Yeah, Odd, when are you hopping on the PCG train? This is your crash course, this stream right now. You following along? I might walk my character over here real quick. So we can get some vibes. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Okay, so this is actually an issue. If anyone remembers my package build stream, I've isolated the issue where like the mesh just gets built into like some massive ball of fuck that's not correct. And this is where it happens. Okay, the vertices are empty. What? How is that? We like went out of memory or something like that. Okay, let's just skip forward so we can continue. Yeah, there's a... I imagine a missing chunk somewhere, but I'm sure we'll find soon. I definitely need to turn down the footstep sounds a little bit too loud, I think. Done a small PCG test or two. Okay, a little testy test. Still figuring out how I want to handle collision geometry for my level dungeon chunks. What is there to figure out for you? Oh, look at that. We've got some like... That's funny. Yeah, I think I'll want to like isolate scenarios like this. Like, it should really only be deeper down, I think. And what I can do is maybe do a distance trace. Okay, where am I even going? Am I going the right way? Yeah, it's right there. Okay. I can probably do the distance node against the surface points and then make sure that the cave points are far enough away. Seems like for performance I need to disable collision on the visible assets and have separate geometry specifically for collision. Isn't that, I mean, isn't that what like simple collision is for? I don't know anything about that though, because I don't use simple collision at all, actually. Like, this is the collision. The vertices are the collision, so complex collision for me only. At least on the terrain. Asset-wise, I'm not using the complex geometry. Even simpler rectangles. I mean, isn't that you could like change that in here, right? Or no? No collision. Nice. Okay, cool. I guess that just doesn't have collision on it. Can I verify that? Oh yeah, none of this has... I didn't turn on collision for these, I don't think. But what is I guess where are you seeing the issues happening when you have the collision on? I assume you're just talking about the PCG spawned assets, or are you talking about like outside of PCG? You say level dungeon chunks, and so this is for like your dungeon generator system, I think. Let's generate this graph too. Oh boy, that's a cave there, folks. That's a cave. Imagine getting in some fights down here where like these things actually have collision, which let me turn that on. At least on the stalags. Where is the collision? No collision. Walk on. Is that working now? Collision's a little wonky, but yeah, imagine like a little fights down here. Oh god, I just spawned. I just did a sun bolt there. You know, but you're like... You know? That's my aimed shot, by the way, Odd. I don't know if you've seen some of the abilities here, but I do have like my numbers. I don't have a target, so I can't use it, but like my number 6 down here, this is like the, you know, the de facto arcane shot. Single target, does more damage, has a cooldown. And then I wanted it to actually, I want there to actually be some skill shots. And so number 2, like you hold it down and then let go. And that's like your traditional, like how you would use a bow in like a Souls-like game and stuff like that. So that was my attempt at combining the two worlds. And so aim shot isn't just a, you know, click the button. It actually like goes where you aim it. And I'm thinking that like headshots will always be crits or something with that, or at least have a talent. So you can, you know, maybe this would actually probably be a, maybe a good scenario, you know, like trying to like nail it in between the two. And I'm thinking that there were going to be some, like the fireball is one of them that like it is a homing. God, it looks so bad in the editor. I don't know why, but it is one that you can aim, but it also has the homing, you know, like classic WoW kind of thing where it'll like just go to the target if you have one, but only up to a certain distance. So you can only do that to like the 30 meters or whatever, but you can still just free cast it as well and to have it go at a location. So I'm thinking that'll create like some pretty interesting gameplay where it's like, yeah, you can use this from longer than 30 meters, but like you have to aim it, right? And it just kind of hits whoever it hits. And maybe that can be your own team as well. But potentially some skill shots there for mages. Oh, my sounds aren't working. Igniculus, welcome. Been lurking a bit. This is looking awesome. Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that. I don't know if it was the abilities that made you say that, or the hastily put together PCG. I appreciate that, though. That's very kind of you. Or was it the floating rocks? I bet it was the floating rock. The Culisai. Yeah, are you guys related? Oh, nice. I can actually mantle on that. Classic hunter, like standing on area that you can't get to and shooting at you. The world in general? Oh, sweet. I'm glad other people are finding it interesting. I guess it's not super interesting at the moment because it's all like the same terrain noise. This noise over here is a bit different, so this looks a bit more interesting over here. And I actually think this little cave system that I'm in is actually super... Let me go back down here. So imagine you're setting up a colony, right? Like, picture this if you will. Picture this if you will. You're setting up a colony, right? Maybe you have some buildings or something here. Like, oh, a cave. I can just go down and build into the cave. I've only just started dabbling with Unreal Engine. It's pretty overwhelming. Yeah, dude, it is definitely drinking from the fire hose, that's for sure. Yeah, I started in Unreal Engine doing procedural generation when I didn't know what I was doing, and yeah, it was an absolute slog. So you're generating a world scene, then it's co-op a la Valheim? Yeah, yeah. Very similar. Very similar. Draconic, welcome in. The implementation is extremely interesting, to be honest, using GPU and doing custom collision to reduce the performance cost. Yeah, yeah. Surprised you've been... I'm surprised there's someone who's paying attention enough to actually understand that. Yeah. But yeah, that is what I'm doing. Yeah, so like this cave system, right? There's an entrance up there. So imagine you're building a colony, you're putting some buildings together, you're putting some beds in buildings to make your colonists happy that they don't have to sleep on the ground. And you're like, oh, maybe I'm just gonna build some buildings. I'm gonna clear out this rubble and shit. So I'm gonna get rid of some of these rocks. I'm gonna build some houses down here so they're protected and they don't get raided, you know? And then you kind of come down here and it kind of forks off. So there's an area over there and then there's like another entrance over here. So you got like a back door, you know what I mean? And these could be areas that you want to like wall off from raiders and stuff like that. Right? So you come up here and let me actually, I'll generate PCG on this chunk too, just to get the full effect. I don't do it, it does have runtime generation capabilities, but I'm not doing it right now just for testing performance. But yeah, so you can also come in here, you know, you're coming out the other side. And so it's like, where was the other one at? Yeah, so like there's the hole and then there's another hole. So you got like, you know, maybe you can create like a little walled area right here to encapsulate those two holes. Would it be PvP or PvE? I would hope both. Both would be sick. You know, why not both? Just a toggle, I would hope. I plan on like, I don't like when games make PvE and PvP have different rules. I understand why a lot of them do that, but the closer I can make the rule set for NPCs and players, I think the easier it'll be to just have something that you can just turn on and be PvP, you know? If you want friendly fire or whatnot. Like, I do want different colonies and stuff like that, and different owners of colonies. Like, there can be someone who's like the leader of a colony. And so potentially your friend that's playing on the same server or something, you know, they have their own colony. And then if you've ever played like vanilla WoW, there are reputations in the game with different factions. And so I want that, but with different colonies. So theoretically you could be hated by your friend's colony or something like that. So we're in this cave. We've got the two entrances, one over there and then one over there. But then we come over here, right? And there's another fork. There's one that way and this way. So here's just another entrance right here as well. And so, you know, maybe you're getting attacked from one side, right? Like, okay, everyone follow me, get down into the caves, we escape out this way, you know? Or maybe we can flank them, we can come up behind them, you know? So there's another entrance to this cave. But then this is the cool part right here. And this is just like a naturally occurring, like this is just straight noise that created these caves here. And so then you come up here. Again, let me generate PCG on this chunk now too. Coming up here. Oh, come on. I think the roots are a little too much. I think there's too many roots. But anyways, now there's just like this natural little shelf here. And then guess what? There's that one entrance that we were just looking at, right? And so this is just like the noise just kind of naturally cut into the mountain here. And so if you're getting attacked from this one, maybe this is the one you want to funnel all the enemies to so that you can come up here and, you know, shoot them and stuff. Hit them with the fireball. And maybe you put like some little barricades up here so you can fend them off. And then, you know, get out your, what I would also do, you know, I would do the, if I can actually, we'll see if this works. It doesn't. The terrain, come on. There we go. It's terrible, but what I would do is I would just dig through here. I guess you would want to do it over here. And so you can come out the other side, and then you've just got like a nice little easy way to go straight from here into the other zone. I will need to do something about this, these materials here. But with my infinite vertex color blending, I should be able to take care of that now. And here's another cave. The lighting is all off for them, though. They should be much darker. But yeah, should be pretty fun, I hope. I think after I just get some rudimentary stuff spawned in the caves, which is, I guess, where I'm at right now. I want to start actually getting the colonists spawned in the world and stuff, enemies, and get the ECS system back working again. I probably need to, I think I've updated since I've last worked on it, so I probably need to go back and fix some things. How long have you been developing in Unreal for? About 2.5 years, I think. It's been quite a long journey. I didn't know anything about C++ or Unreal Engine or procedural generation before that, so yeah, it was a pretty massive learning curve. But yeah, let's get some. I at least want to get some mushrooms going under here too. And I think maybe what I can do that's pretty cool is I'm going to create little patches of mushrooms. And I think what I'll want to do here, we'll definitely want to do ground, but I want to do my own spatial noise. Let's pause that. Pause that. Let me go back. The learning curve is thick. Yeah, nice and girthy learning curve. It does feel cool to finally start, like, to have it start clicking and stuff. Odd, I think you've mentioned this in some of your streams too, where you start to feel more competent and then you can just start thinking in Unreal Engine terms and stuff. Brought my hand on a 2.5D side-scroller type game, kind of like Inside. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good start, right? Don't have to worry about the y-axis. Let me look at Inside here. I like the minimalist vibe here. Let's not go straight to the article here. Nice, yeah, there's some depth there. Oh, that's a cool shot. I love the desolate, almost Armageddon apocalyptic vibes here. Never heard of this game. Looks cool though. It's like a 6-hour playtime with a great ending. Nice. So let me, we're gonna turn all of these off. Turn you off. You can regen now. And then let's debug draw that. I was told I do 2D or 3D. I guess you can only do 2D? Oh, that's lame. Random offsets. Yeah, why am I not getting more values for that? Let me do it on this chunk. The spatial noise is not working the way I thought it would. These are all the same values. Why am I not getting different values? It's just assigning density 0.5 to everything. Heavily modified Unity to make the game. The volumetric fog was entirely custom. Yeah, I think the rendering of Unreal Engine is really where the niceties are. Why are you not giving me actual spatial noise here? Let me just look at this here for a second. Yeah, you are not working correctly, are you? Oh, is it because the seed is the same on all of them? No, the seed's different. How does this node work? Yeah, blueprints are definitely nice. I myself have always been a programmer, so I prefer C++, despite how much of a pain it can be to like rerun everything. What? Yeah, why are you not giving me... Why are you not giving me what I want here? Is that an editor or utility widget that controls when your PCG spawns? Are you talking about this little button down here? Or rather, no, that's the wrong one. This guy right here? This one's just default on the PCG component. Yeah, that one's just on there by default. This one, however, is the one I created. To show my vertex data. So you disable the autogen. Yeah, that one, because I do like manually, like whenever each chunk spawns, I call the generate function manually. Usually, and then I just have like on my essentially my terrain controller. Oh my god, my fireball projectiles are all still existing. I've got like a little run PCG checkbox here that I have turned off whenever I'm doing non-PCG development stuff, because then it just generates PCG on all of this, which is a lot. Still need to work on some better runtime generation stuff. Dropped out of software development in high school. That's awesome that you had that in high school. I didn't. I had to teach myself. I was going well as Visual Basic. Oh god, no wonder you dropped out. Yeah. Oh, but you switched to C++ in high school. That's crazy. What kind of fucking high school did you go to? That's crazy. 16 gig memory, minimum memory specs. Let's go. Yeah, hey, fucking Oblivion had 16 gigs minimum, so... By the time mine comes out in 2050, that should be totally okay. Australian public school. That's wild, dude. When I was in high school, there were no options for me. Like, there was like one, like, IT class that was really just like how to use fucking Excel, you know? 50, yeah, I'm memeing. I went to a tech high school and learned the basics of a few trades. Yeah, we had like, there's like an off-campus or like technical school for like the kids that lived in the area that you could get, that like I actually ended up driving there for half the day during my junior and senior year, but they only taught networking. So that's what I did. I did networking in high school and there was no programming. So I had to teach that to myself. And then by the time I got to college, I was tired of paying for teachers who, you know, didn't communicate very well to teach me things that I either had already taught myself or that I knew that I could figure out by just Googling enough, you know. So I dropped out after a couple years and got a job. Yeah, C++ in high school is nuts though. That is not, I would not do Visual Basic or C++ in high school. That's, I would, first of all, I would never teach Visual Basic. C++ would be a college thing. Like, they should have done like Java or Python or JavaScript. One of those three. I think those are like the three best learning languages, honestly. Anyways, let's figure out why my noise node is not working. Can you render now, please? Java and C++ in high school. Yeah, dude, who the fuck are these teachers teaching teenagers C++? That's wild. Back when Eclipse was still the best IDE. Oh yeah, I remember those days. That was a rough. And IntelliJ started getting popular. That was like 9-day difference. It's like, bro, you're starting kids early in programming, which is great, but you're also giving them like their first introduction to programming, and it's going to be C++. Like, how to get kids not interested in programming 101. This can be painful, but when learning, having all the visual stuff at disposal is pretty good. Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like the web development language, so it's super applicable as well. Super lucky we just happen to have one of the best math teachers. One of the math teachers just enjoyed teaching programming, so he offered it. That's wild. I wish I had one of those teachers in high school. I made a fish tank using a multi-dimensional array. It was a console app that drew X at a sort. You did that in high school, Odd? I stopped coding for years after that. As a console app, I see. Yeah, 2D. I feel like a game of Battleship is a much better, or Tic-Tac-Toe was a much better intro application to write. Adobe Flash, RIP. I remember begging my parents to let me install Flash on the computer. Back in the day. Okay, let me actually, am I rendering the right thing? Yeah, so we are rendering the density values, but they're all the same. Now, I know this isn't always the case. Let me do that. Igniculus, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Those Flash games went hard. Yeah, addictinggames.com. Hell yeah. Oh, these are not enabled. Enable them. Enable them. Okay. Still nothing? Huh. Well, no, the density values are different here. Why aren't you rendering them differently then? Why can't it just give me a fucking min and a max? Like a normal noise generator does. They're like trying to make it like understandable by normies, but now it's making me not understand it. What's the... It's 0 and 1, 4 iterations. Okay, let's make it smaller? Is that the issue? This noise is just so big. I mean, this is getting... Yeah, that's getting better. Okay, let's do 0.1. What? Like, this is so... Like, this used to work for me way different. Way more differenter. Yeah. Yeah, that. Give me zeros. Am I going the wrong... Do I need to go, like, bigger? There we go. That's the direction I wanted. Okay, now it's looking more like what I... There's the noise. There's the noise I want. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so why wasn't that, working here? Wrong one. Wrong one. This guy. Oops. Okay, we're good now? We're good now. Okay, so it's just the scaling of it. Okay. Just the scaling of it, I hope. I hope that's good now. Are we good now? Can you load, please? Please and thank you. Unreal Engine is taking up 81% of my CPU right now. Okay, we're pretty frozen. PCG be like that sometime. So I'm gonna rebuild this. I'm gonna BRB while that happens. we're back. We are back. Okay. Yeah, let's generate the world. Go back to iterating on PCG a little bit. I want to spawn mushroom clusters. Little patches of mushrooms. That's what I was going to use that spatial noise for. Where was I? Was it this guy? Do this one right. I'm gonna lurk and try to fix my issue in my project that's rattled me for the last few hours. Head to bed. How often do you stream so I can come back next time? It's pretty sporadic. Usually on the weekends I can get in a nice long stream, and then just kind of sporadically through the week, either before or after work. So yeah, I don't have a set schedule, sorry. You'll probably have to just have the notifications on or whatever. But yeah, lurk away. I love me some lurkers. Okay. We want this there. Yeah, take care, bud. Okay, yeah, so we wanted this to be like 5, right? Is that what we figured out? Oh yeah, we need the and we only want actually ground. I only want ground for now. Hello? There we go. Now I am like using the same noise and everything, so I don't want this. If I turn contrast up, okay, that does do what I thought. And then what's brightness? The opposite. Oh dear. I guess why are there 2 numbers for this? Okay, so we have some spatial noise here. Actually, I think I want this to be bigger, or yeah, scale it more. Yeah, I think this is maybe not quite that big. 8. No, let's actually do like, I don't know, maybe 1 here. Make it like very strandy. That's in the Z direction though, so maybe that doesn't matter too much. What we're gonna do here, density filter, of course. Of course. And then grab me just a static mesh. No, not that. Static mesh spawner. Give me a mesh. We're gonna do these little green gooples here. These little goopy boys. Okay. Okay. there's so many variations in this pack. What did I need? Like 2 more? No, just 1 more. Delete number 8. Delete. Okay. Oh no, where are the textures? No. You have textures, why aren't you showing? Force regen, maybe? Huh. Generated for this other chunk here. Where are my materials? Okay. Well, what happens if I just like drag one of them out here? That renders. PCG, what's your deal? Well, that's lame. Why on earth would that be the issue? Why? Maybe disable, re-enable. No, it's just going to do the same thing. I want my little green mushroom boys. Huh. That's what they're supposed to look like. What if I put the material override on it with just like the same material? Okay, I'm gonna save that. I'm curious. I'm gonna save that. Delete this guy. Let's rebuild now. File, save all. We'll rebuild now. Try again. What the frick, man? Okay, Google time. Unreal Engine PCG not spawning static mesh with material. Okay, so I guess this is a unique to me issue. It does have the right material on here. I mean, is something wrong in the material? That's just like the default material, right? Like the default texture or whatever. Oh, you know what I need to do? You know what I need to do? I think I know what I need to do. Usable with instant static meshes. Boom. Yeah, that was it. Okay. That is something I need to keep in mind, don't I? That is such a weird, like, I feel like it should always be able to be used. Okay, back in business. Okay, give me some PRP, transform points, give me a random rotation. Scale min and max, we'll go 0.5 to 2. That's how we do it. Do it. That, bing, bang, boom. Okay. Now, I should definitely be doing like, ooh, wow, okay. I do kind of like how the greens sort of go together. They're definitely off, but like, yeah, not bad. So, I wonder if those should be only on dirt. Maybe those are only on dirt. And then I should be doing a difference culling on these so that they don't overlap so much, for sure. Let's do this only on dirt. Only on dirt. And then rubble, let's do a difference, right? Isn't that spatially subtracts the target difference data from the source data, outputting the difference between the two. So I think I want something like this to call the rubble to make sure these guys don't overlap. Okay, and then I seem to have just broken everything. Oh no, there we go. There we go. These could maybe even look a little better on, let's actually do some random Z offsetting with that as well. Maybe like 50? Oh, that was too much. That was too much. Maybe like 20. There we go. Yeah, one thing that's going to be kind of a pain when I start getting more into the terrain deformation is like, you know, when you deform terrain underneath these. Oh, there's some that are floating. Maybe only 10 then. Yeah, when you deform the terrain underneath these, like, you expect them to, like, you know, not just be floating in the air. Let's run over there again. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out like how I want them to react to that, you know? I know in Valheim, for rocks, when you dig under them, they just stay floating, right? Or, not rocks, but ore. Ore, yeah. I think for the little stones, they just, like, project them down. Same with trees, like, they just move down. Like, that you don't actually see, like, there's no physics or anything. Maybe I can do something similar? And that would avoid, like, using miners as tree choppers, you know? Like, I do want wood cutting to be like a skill, and that you should use that, right? So you can't just like dig underneath a tree and like knock it down. You know, fell the tree by digging underneath it. But for grass, I think I just want the grass to like disappear or something, you know? Just like look through the grass. What about for like things that are resources, like, you know, herbs and mushrooms and stuff like that? Same thing, maybe. And then what happens when they inevitably, when you dig through into a tunnel, right? Do they just like Maybe they just disappear, right? That way you can't, oh, Jesus. Okay, where are my little green boys at? There they are. That's fun. Mushroom clusters. Now, this is a lot. So, like, what do these represent in the game? You know? Maybe it's like a really shitty source of food. That way you can grow things underground. But they don't give very much food. It would be cool if they kind of like shifted as you ran through them, you know? Also love that these like stay in the shadow. That's kind of cool. It's kind of naturally byproduct of the surface system I wrote. Pretty sweet progress today, thanks. Yeah, the PCG stuff always seems like that, right? Because it can go pretty quick. But yeah, it's all just like hodgepodge assets, so just kind of quick and dirty. Quick and dirty, haggard little dungeon implementation, or cave. Just trying to quickly edit a terrain with foliage already on it. It just proves PCG is easier to manage later in the project. Yeah, more complicated, but more powerful, I feel like, you know? Weeks of agony and then in half a day, boom, win. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is, right? You got to set up all the foundation and stuff. Still feel like the roots are a little aggressive, and I definitely want to do something on the walls, like maybe get some like moss or something that kind of goes up on the walls. And like my textures and material, like the visuals of my game are just kind of haggard, you know? They're all a little scuffed up. Don't exactly go together. So it would be nice to get some textures that just don't look like a repeated dirt tile. Need some actual cell bombing and stuff happening. But I'm more so just focused. I'm more so just focused on getting some of the foundational aspects, the gameplay, the functionality, rather than the visuals. But yeah, when you get the visual stuff going, it does bring all the boys to the yard, doesn't it? Let's see what else do I have in that asset pack? We get some flowers. Little underground flowers. Yeah, maybe this is like a this is an herb. You can use it for like some night vision potion or something like that. What is this? Ancient coin chest. Oh, that's like for the topper in one of these chests here. And maybe I should spawn a couple little chests here and there, just kind of like random. Skeletons, shrub. Do I want shrubs underground? Lots of good cell bombing resources and tutorials that beat the built-in tools. Oh, nice. Yeah, something all the material and texture stuff is all things I am putting off looking into. And I got some more mushrooms I can spawn in. Yeah, maybe I'll just stick within this asset pack maybe for the caves for now. Maybe I can spawn like a little dungeon or something. Let's learn everything, yeah. Why not? Was using those stone head statues for... Oh, that's where you got those from. I know what you're talking about in your game. Made them huge and gold for a while in the project. Yeah, they look good. I like it. It was a nice, like... it's one of those assets that's, like, makes you think about, like, oh, what used to be here, you know? Yeah, I'll have to watch, because I know there's like a little video that they go through. I'll have to watch that and see how they arrange all of these, and then maybe I'll just take inspiration for that, from that. Yeah, so I need to convert all these into data table assets, data table rows to work with my environment item spawner. Everything that gets passed in here has to be... I don't have to set up like the individual descriptors anymore, which is nice, but I do have to put them in the data table, which I've been thinking, like every single static mesh essentially needs to be a data table row, which is kind of a pain. And like, you know, for each of these flowers or each of these things of grass, like they're the exact same other than the static mesh. So I've been thinking about maybe adding some like one row but multiple static meshes. And I already have like an array of static meshes, but this was for growth time. So it was like how, you know, if you have a tree, you have like a sapling mesh, and then maybe like a medium-sized mesh, and then like a full-grown mesh. And so that's what I was intending that to be used for, but maybe I can add some more functionality there to where I don't need to create a data table row for each static mesh asset, and instead maybe just can create some variants or something like that. It'll make it a little bit easier for me to input all of these. Then yeah, I think I'll want to do a few little points of interest as well. You know, maybe throw a little chest down in here with some stuff in it. Throw one of those big heads. I think what those larger set pieces will be for gameplay wise, in like because like in RimWorld you can spawn into the world and there's like some like little bits of little ruins and stuff like that, and sometimes they have I don't know how to say it, a stele?
Steel.
Oh, it's just steel. A steel. Or stella. Stela? The stone or wooden slab, generally taller than it is wide, erected in the ancient world as a monument. So in RimWorld, there's just like little, like these things, just kind of like, a few of these are randomly spawned on the map. And they improve like the beauty in a radius around it. Which is something that, and then you can kind of build them on your own as well. So they created like this little place of worship and put these little monuments. And so I think maybe what those points of interest will be, you know, if I were to grab a head and just throw it out. Oh, that's like very small. Let's lock that. You know, if maybe something like this is down here. You know, maybe that just kind of slightly improves the beauty or the comfort level or something, because I do want systems like that in the game for the colonists to respond to and interact with. And then maybe we can do something like do a little something like this, maybe. Maybe, no, undo that. Oh god. I'm back here. You just went all the way to 0, 0. Okay. Okay, hang on. We're just gonna delete you. We're gonna respawn you. Something like that. Imagine having hidden history to the world. Yeah, definitely something I hope to do, especially with like the LLM and stuff like that. Because I do want some very like god-driven lore and mechanics. So maybe this could be a statue of worship to a certain god or something like that. You know? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like have a system where all these assets, I'll probably just use like the asset tags or something. And I'll just tag the assets with just descriptors of what they are, you know? And then I'll be able to pass that, you know, all of my static meshes to the LLM, to Gemini because of the large context window, and just be like, hey, you can pick whatever assets you want to spawn, you know, and just have it spawn that somewhere. And give it meaning, you know, give it a quest, stuff like that. So I think that'll be pretty cool. Of course, you know, spawn some goblins right here or something. The 9 divines kind of stuff where the people get different buffs depending on the shrine and the other stuff. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's almost took the words right out of my mouth almost. I have written down in like my Giga game dev doc, like I want you to be able to like build like statues and shrines and stuff like that to certain gods, and then like as a colony, you can kind of convince your colonists to like worship the god potentially, and like the more things you have built around for a certain god, the stronger that like conversion is for those colonists. And then there's like a specific buff you can get, you know, for the colonists that follow the god. And then maybe the colonists that don't follow that god are kind of upset when they see it, you know, or if they're around it. Maybe they're just crankier, maybe they don't want to stick around in your colony and they want to leave, you know. Maybe you need to like imprison them and then convert them, you know. Or maybe you can have multiple sects. Not sex, sects. Okay, get your head out of the gutter. Okay, I know what you were thinking. Sects of worship. Yeah, maybe there can be a... Because like the way RimWorld does it is like each colonist gets like a mood buff for, you know, my religion is the dominant religion in the colony. So there's just a mood buff, like you're just happier, which I think makes sense. But I think it would also be cool to have some like gameplay buffs as well. Like, you know, oh, you're worshiping the god of the hunt, so therefore, like, I don't know, animal yields, or like your people are better hunters or something like that, or maybe easier to hunt, or, you know, maybe there's just more animals spawned around for you to hunt. Stuff like that would be pretty cool. So definitely want like individual buffs, but then like maybe a colony-wide buff as well. And then you can get like little temporary buffs for like worshiping the shrine. You know, you get like a day-long buff or something. And I'm thinking like for the roguelite elements as well, I'm thinking that you can kind of condemn certain gods or renounce them or something like that, and then those gods make your next run more difficult in that god flavored way. So, you know, maybe you piss off the goddess of the hunt, you know, the Artemis type god, and she like all beasts are like stronger or something like that. That makes your run a little bit harder, but maybe they also drop better loot or something like that. So each run will be maybe a little bit different that way as well. Having weird little individual shrines at homes would add some flavor. Yeah, and you could even like, you know, maybe that's where are these little things at? You know, one of these little things. Yeah, and then they can, that gives them like a bonus, you know, a little mood bonus as well. Look at it, he just wants a hug. Look at that guy. Yeah, I definitely want to give like everything some level of meaning, right? Like all these rocks, I want you to be able to just like, you can just pick them up and you know, you just have some stone in your inventory, right? I know that's not like very much and probably meaningless in most scenarios, but I think it actually adds a lot of depth to the experience, knowing that like everything around you can be used in some way or like has some purpose in the world and isn't just there for visual decoration but also gameplay decoration, right? Like I was mentioning like Doom, you know, like the new Doom game looks incredible, but it's all just like visual decoration that doesn't actually change, like there's no gameplay meaning to it. So, and I think like, you know, I definitely want people to be able to decorate their colonies and their houses and stuff like that. But I want the colonists to actually, you know, maybe you get a debuff if your home doesn't have any decorations, you know. And so, you know, maybe you've got a colonist who really likes nature, and so they want like potted plant type decorations and stuff like that. And so you got to like find the plants for those or build some of those or something, you know. Waiting for that one colonist that gets randomly spawned that like loves nature but like has a whatever the opposite of a green thumb is, a brown thumb. Oh, that sounds weird. Okay, definitely naming it brown thumb. That's awesome. But like, so it's like they want a bunch of plants around them and in their house, but everything they touch like just fucking dies. Elliot, yeah, you're a brown thumb, aren't you, Elliot? I can tell. Yeah, super cool. Hopefully we can start getting more into that stuff. I really need to get the lighting, I think, working. That's going to be pretty big too, because I definitely want there to be like lighting debuffs. Like if you're in the darkness, like you should have just like a 30% miss chance, depending on how dark it is or something, you know. I can keep plants aligned only when my lease depends on it. That's funny. When has your lease depended on that, though? You better not let this potted plant die or you're getting kicked out. Anyways, I got a meeting here soon, so I gotta hop off and actually go to work. So we're gonna send you guys over to? Let's send you guys over to Prismatica. I had a sublet for a couple months and the wife was like, yes, those are my babies. Oh no, why would you leave your babies in some stranger's place? That's a weird contingency. But yeah, let's I'm gonna hop off. I got a meeting to go to here in a few minutes, so thanks everyone for stopping by. This was a fun and eventful stream. Visually got a lot done. That's great. Hopefully we'll get to do some more streams this week. Lame. I know, work is lame. So are potted plants. YouTube Live 2.0. I only get 20% of my time to work on that, so don't expect anything soon. Later, everyone. Have a good day.